So at the outset, we have to say that there is no cause of panic. We have experts and, of course, the banking sector stalwarts joining us on the show to answer some of your questions. In fact, let's start this discussion by taking a couple of your queries that have been coming in. Abdullah Hakim is on the line. Yes, Mr. Hakim, how can we help you?
Okay, there's been a lot of chaos around. Well, where my friends from SBI have got this thing that their ATMs have been blocked. Luckily for me, my ATM has not been blocked. My account is like I've not had any queries on changing the password or such. My question is online transactions safe? Like apart from ATM, I'm not using my ATM right now, but because I'm a guy who shops a lot online. So is it safe right now to shop online?
One understands the concern and the question, Abdullah. Thanks for joining in. In fact, I'd like to highlight another WhatsApp query that we've got. It's very similar in nature. This one was from Dr. Sashyalata, and she said that I got very worried listening to this story about 30 lakh cards getting impacted, and she's already moved some funds, and she's an SBI customer. She's moved some funds not knowing what to do. We've got the bankers with us as well, both Mr. Rajiv Anand of Axis Bank and Mr. Kumar of State Bank of India. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining in, because it's important to send out the right message right now that this is not a system-wide, pandemic issue. Mr. Kumar, if I could come to you first, what is it that you'd like to convey to customers in terms of just not doing anything hasty? People are worried, as you just heard, about the bank account safety itself, and those whose cards have not been blocked, even they seem to be a little concerned.
No, definitely there would be concerns, and it is a natural reaction. But you see, if I were to draw an analogy, if an accident happens, we don't stop going on the road. But what we make an effort that we increase the road safety measures. And this is a similar situation. We are living in an interconnected world. We are very, very accustomed to now using debit cards and credit cards for the transactions. But there are a couple of things which as a customer or a debit card holder one can do. And my advice would be, suppose you are not traveling abroad, you are not using card abroad, so there is no need for you to have a feature which allows transactions from abroad, and there is a facility. Through simple SMS, you can block that. As far as the State Bank is concerned, now we have 55,000 ATMs in the network, and there are 200 million debit card users. And it is a way of life now that we go to ATM, draw cash, or when we do any transaction, either we pay by a debit card or credit card or e-commerce. So systems are safe, and anyone who is part of the system, it is their responsibility to make the system safe and foolproof as much as possible. And that is what we keep on always doing. Always there are vulnerability tests which keep on going. What are the new security measures which can be introduced? There we have in the State Bank a state-of-the-art security operations center which functions 24/7. Then we have card prevention fraud monitoring system. So it is not that, and it is like I would like to give a comfort to our customers that this is not where there should be any need for panic. But yes, if there are certain vulnerabilities at whatever point or wherever they have been found, they need to be plugged in, and whoever is part of this payment ecosystem, it is not one bank which runs the system, it is a larger ecosystem.
That's
and
the
that
point,
ecosystem
sir.
needs to be strengthened.
That's exactly the point that I want to come to with the other guests as well. Shivaramakrishnan, if I can bring you in on the conversation, we're talking about digital being the next real wave in terms of transactions. We're talking about the UPI interface coming in. So while we completely take the point that there is no reason to panic, and yes, there are 32 lakh cards impacted, but only 150 actual fraudulent transactions that have been reported. So we must keep the numbers in mind. We take that on board. However, is it not a concern that 90 ATMs were somewhere compromised?
I think we need to put this in a two perspective. When it comes to cybersecurity, there are events that have affected, there are presumptive action organizations can take. What the banks have done, or the Payment Corporation of India have suggested, is more of a preemptive action based on certain incidences that have happened. So from that perspective, it is a proactiveness of the Indian financial institution system that is in work at the moment. Having said that, it could be a alarm. It's like an alarm today that for the future it could be a kind of wake-up call for the whole ecosystem to be collaborative, cohesive, and start working together to improve overall security. So it's a learning for us, and from here how we go forward is more important than looking at what has happened, because what has happened is not 32 lakh customers got impacted. There is a preemptive action due to which they have asked either advice to change the pins, or the banks have went ahead and requested for a change of card. That's a good step.
Sure.
That's the first step. But way forward is going to be to look at the overall Indian ecosystem, financial banking ecosystem, and what improvements that requires to be made, whether it's third party, whether it is own banks, or whether it's collateral damage that could happen because of one partner's failure affecting the entire value chain.
Talking about bringing about that improvement, and especially in the third-party vendors, Mr. Rajiv Anand, if we may ask you this, while you can guarantee your own servers and systems are safe and secure for all of your customers at Axis Bank, what about the third-party vendors? Is there not enough policing there? Is that a grey area where perhaps, we are at a grave risk because you can only guarantee what your systems and safety, your servers, as far as those are concerned, but not what a third-party vendor is really doing?
Firstly, Axis does not outsource its servers as far as the ATMs are concerned. But having said that, I think we are in an interconnected world. Our customers use other bank ATMs and vice versa. And so therefore having a safe and secure sort of ecosystem, I think is critical. But at the same time, I don't want to generalize, based on this particular, sort of incident. I think the banks in general and including Axis have taken significant measures to be able to, sort of control the damage and be able to provide a safe and secure environment for customers to transact, whether it is on the ATMs, internet, mobile, or even our branches.
Okay, gentlemen, we have some more callers on the line. In fact, we've been getting lots of queries throughout the afternoon. This is, I think, Prajanya Shetty. She's 26 years old, and she has a query for our panel. Prajanya, go ahead.
Hey, hi. I wanted to know how can a bank like SBI have this kind of problems happening? I mean, it's so inconvenient, all the time.
It's not, Prajanya, I have to cut you out there because it's not State Bank of India. We're putting that on record. This is a compromise of 90 ATMs of a different bank, but banks like SBI and Axis and others, as a preemptive measure to ensure that there is no fraud, they have gone ahead and blocked cards or asked their users to change their PIN. So I'm setting the record straight there. But yes, was your card blocked? Is there some inconvenience that you're facing?
Yeah, my card was blocked. My card was blocked a week ago. And the only part that is very inconvenient is that every time you want money, you have to go to the bank, withdraw it all the time. It's back and forth because you have such a busy life all the time. You do not really have that kind of to go to the bank all the time.
Point taken, Prajanya. We'll try and get actually some more callers in as well on this front, because a couple of them have actually faced issues in getting new cards reissued. Mr. Rajneesh Kumar, if I could come to you, I mean, as the bank is looking at obviously the process of reissuing those 6 lakh cards, how quick a redressal or a resolution can we expect in the coming days?